Let's have a music revolution. Revolution, revolution. Let's have a music revolution. Revolution, revolution. Everybody clap your hands. Music revolution. Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. Hi everybody, it's Plastic EP coming in from Melbourne, Australia. And I've got Andrew Soos with me on our brand new show, Music Revolution. Now, let me tell you, it's not every day that we find two groovers that we like, right? We got Rock and Roll Joel and we got Rock and Roll Lisa. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
No worries. Plastic's fantastic like yourselves. And I just want to say, let me tell you the story about Joel and Lisa. Now, what happens is, I found their fantastic radio show coming out from Cincinnati, and it's called Punks in the Garage. So as I'm looking, he's doing an Australian and New Zealand special on punks. And as I look the playlist, there's Plastic EP in the records with the first record that I recorded in 1981. It was the A-side, Called It Home, and the flip side was Three Special Words. And because of that, I thought, these guys are so groovy. They've tracked me down, found me. They're putting me out since that song was released in 1981, and the world's finding out about Plastic EP and the records. And I just want to welcome you guys so much to the show. And now, tell us about your fantastic radio show coming out from Cincinnati.
Thank you, Plastic EP.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. So we have a show that's on all different ways of reaching us. So we have it, if you're in Cincinnati, you can actually hear it over the radio. So it's a real radio show. So we can't curse and things like that in the US. I don't know if you can curse in Australia. We can't. But so we have to keep it a little clean.
And it's a listener sponsored radio station.
Yeah.
So it's paid for only by listeners.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Thank God, because we don't have government funding.
Yes.
Anyhow, the other ways to hear us is it's worldwide on the internet live. So that's WAIFradio.org. So you can hear it /listen.
Yeah.
And then most people who are not, listening to it live, we archive everything on Mixcloud. So Punks in the Garage, Mixcloud. And then we've got social media, Instagram and Facebook and all of that. So our show, to tell you a little bit more about it, is an hour long. The format is about 2/3 of the show is pre-1982 punk worldwide. So Australia, UK, US, France, wherever. And then we mix in some 60s garage and freak beat. I love freak beat, so I put a good amount of that in it. And then a little bit of surf, 50s, proto-punk. And then in every episode, Rock and Roll Lisa here does a 4-song block of post-1982. Mostly, if you want to describe what you play.
It's anything from 1983 to current. So it's anything I find that I like, that he basically also will like. We have to both agree on it. And I get 4 songs, so it's not a lot, but yeah.
That's what we do. People like it. We're a growing audience, but we're new. I mean, we just started in December. But I go back. I did college radio when I was a kid, so I was doing the original punk period. So at the same time, Plastic EP that you were doing your band in the late 70s, early 80s, I was doing college radio and played all this stuff back then. So used to play some really cool Australian stuff back then. I love the Master's Apprentices, for example, so played that, and some of the more modern things like the Saints and Radio Birdman and whatever. So anyhow, that's the 5-minute skinny on us.
Yeah.
Anyway, we want everyone to go out there and support your station. Anyone with deep pockets, please tell them where they can contact you. Give me your email and everything like that.
Yeah, so our on the radio station, you can make donations. So it's once again, it's WAIF radio.org, and there's a donation page on there.
And if you donate, you can donate to our show.
Yeah, if you put Punks in the Garage, and we get credit for it. We don't get the money.
Yeah, we don't get the money.
And then our email address, and we answer every email we get, as Plastic EP found out when he emailed us, is punksinthegarage@gmail.com.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by punk. Actually, I was first introduced to punk when my father did a humanities degree, and part of it was a sociology of punk. And I guess the radical idea of talent not necessarily getting in the way of delivering a good message. I come from a folk background, and Pete Seeger always said, there is no such thing as a bad song. What matters is the social good that a song does. And how does that translate to punk?
Well, it's an interesting question because it's the two places that I know the best are the UK and the US for punk. And it was very different. The answer to your question, I think, is very different for the US than it is for the UK. UK was definitely, most of the groups, not all of them, were political. In the US, it was more a comedy thing. It was more like, being stupid and fun and doing pop songs. And I think Australia, the songs that I know from Australia, is a little bit closer to the US view of that. I know there were some that were political, but I think most of it was just fun, and playing, music. Like when I was growing up when I was in high school, or whatever you call that in Australia, that's when you're 15 to 18. When I was in it, music was just awful. It was just really long songs, really slow. It was not of interest to me personally. So I was listening to old 60s stuff. I didn't know about, the Stooges or some of this other stuff that was going on at that time, because it wasn't played in the radio in the US.
On the radio at all.
When punk came out, when I went to college in my first semester, the first punk records came out in US fall of '76. And it was just a revelation to me of like, there's actually new music I liked. And so for me, it wasn't political. It was just, it was like short songs that were fast and were something I liked, sort of like similar to garage 60s stuff, which is the same reason I like that music. But in the UK, bands like The Clash, for example, were almost totally political, and a lot of the other groups. So I think it's interesting. If you look at different places, it's different.
I want to tell you the story of Plastic EP and the Records in the short version. Okay, you know what I like about your show? Punks in the Garage. That describes us. Now, in 1978, 1979, I organised a band called Plastic EP and the Records. And for 2 years, we practiced in a band member's garage. And all we did is play that song at home for 2 years. So that's us. You've described us. Then in 1981, we went in a recording studio. And after we've learnt the song at home, for 2 years, we recorded the song at home. And the flip side was Three Special Words. Now, that single, we pressed about 250 copies or 500 copies. I don't remember. We took it all the radio stations all over Melbourne, wherever. That single, if you can find it, sells for up to $500, right? Australian. In tribute to Plastic EP and the Records, go to YouTube, go to Spotify, go everywhere, and there's a complete album called Plastic EP and the Records Anthology. Now, every single track that we recorded in 1981, that's before we came to EPs. So 1982, we released another single and we became the actual EPs. And the reason for that was I said to everybody, Plastic EP and the Records is too long. Okay, it's like Cliff Richard and the Shadows. Now, Plastic EP, for those people who don't know what Plastic EP is, I'll tell you. I got the name Plastic EP. One, the word plastic. That comes from the reference from John Lennon. Instead of calling records and pieces of vinyl, he used to say, can you please play that piece of plastic, meaning a record. The EP part is, of course, a moniker to the 60s. Those songs that were in a 45, 2 songs on one side, 2 songs on the other. And in 1967, I bought 2 Monkeys EPs. They were the first things I bought. And because of that EPs, the extended plays, that's where I got the name, the EP. So it's Plastic EP and the records. And then because of those singles that I love the Monkeys because I grew up with the Monkeys, we became the EPs. Now, back to Plastic EP and the records. We released the first single and we went for that punk sound on purpose. I don't know any Australian band, and I said, right, let's go punk, because punk was still huge. And when we put this record out, we thought we were as good as anybody in the UK on the punk sound. We didn't do a record and think, oh, this is that. We go, we're doing punk. I don't know any Australian band that said, first single, punk. Bang, let's go for it. So we had the punk sound. I naturally sing loud and punk and this and that. And it was just right up my alley. It's the first song I wrote, and I'm very proud of that song. After writing 2,500 songs and releasing 100 digital albums all over the world, there's no song that beats at home except Hey Bananas, We Think You're Groovy.
1, 2, 3, 4. All alone, no one to turn to, no one to turn to. At home, please stay with me. Hello, no one here with me. No one to turn to, no one to turn to, no one to turn to now. And I say, hey now, ooh now, what you gonna do now? Hey now, ooh now, you're feeling blue now. Hey now, ooh now, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Without me, without me, without me, yeah. At home, won't you by my side? Hello, don't run and hide. Come on and love me, come on and love me. And I'm all by myself in me, oh, oh. And I'm all by myself in me, oh, oh. Won't you here with me? Hello, won't you stay with me? No one to love me, no one to love me, no one to love me now. And I say, hey, nah, ooh, nah, what you gonna do? Nah, hey, now, ooh, now, you're feeling blue now. Hey, now, ooh, now, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You need me, you need me, you need me, yeah. All alone, no one to turn to, no one to turn to, no one to turn to now.
Hey bananas, we think you're groovy, Hey bananas, we watch your movie, yeah. Driving tune buggies everywhere, just going crazy without a care. Hey bananas, we think you're groovy. Hey bananas, we think you're groovy. We love to watch you 'cause you're our favorite show.
Hey bananas, we think you're groovy.
Hey bananas,
Hey bananas, we think you're groovy. Hey bananas, we think you're groovy. Na 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 na.
na 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 na.
Bananas, we think you're groovy.
Hey bananas,
We think you're groovy. Hey bananas.
Everybody in the world knows your names. Hey bananas, we think you're groovy. Hey bananas, we think you're groovy. We love to watch your current shows. Now up and down the poles you go. Hey bananas, we think you're groovy. Na 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 na, we think you're groovy. Think you're groovy. Na 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 na, we think you're groovy. Bananas, we think you're groovy. Think you're groovy. Think you're groovy.
Think you're groovy. Yeah.
The first time I came on the internet, right, in 2020, I believe it was March or a little bit earlier, that was my theme song to my interviews. And I've done over 1,200 interviews, and that was my theme song. It was basically a tribute to the TV show 1968, The Banana Splits. And that's a part about the bananas, and there's lyrics there, up and down the poles we go, and so forth. So I'm basically, in my mind as a child, remembering that show when I watched it on black and white TV here in Australia.
So, first of all, I think, I'm a very picky person about what I like, and I listen to 100 songs and I like one. So I think, At Home, Three Special Words, and I'd heard both of those before because I own not the original, but one of the reissues. But I've never heard I'm Not Coming Back, and I just adore that song. I just heard it since you sent it to me a few days ago. And so, that's something I really like.
Gotta leave here in a hurry. Sick of spending all my money. It's time to get up and move around. I'll turn to another town. And I'm not coming back. And I'm not coming back. No, I'm not coming back. And I'm not coming back. Where the bus will take us, either San Francisco or Vegas. It's time to get up and move around, instead of letting things get me down. And I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. No, I'm not coming back. Why should I head back for Kansas? Seems to end when you're down in dollar again. I know I'd be lost without my friends, just one town after another. And I'm not coming back. And I'm not coming back. No, I'm not coming back. And I'm not coming back. No, not coming back. And he's not coming back. Not coming back, and he's not coming back. Not coming back, and he's not coming back. Not coming back, and he's not coming back. And I'm not coming back, and he's not coming back. No, I'm not coming back, and he's not coming back. And I'm not coming back, and he's not coming back. No.
I have a question for you. Is in the UK, radio was very supportive of punk, and it led to commercial success of most of the bands that were that we've heard of to this day. In the U.S., bands like the Ramones weren't played on the radio. They're played more now than they were in the day, and commercial radio did not support those bands, and therefore the bands really didn't make money from their records. It was from playing live. Was Australian more like the UK or like the US in terms of radio or somewhere in between? I'm just curious.
I'll say at that time when the record came out in 1981, I had all the records, went around the radio stations, they didn't play it. And at that time, it was do it yourself. If you look at the original record, I've done the actual label, right? Side one and side two. I drew it, went and had the record pressed. And as I said, we went to gigs and we were giving them out for free. I wish I didn't give them out because now they're worth $500 each, right? That could be my retirement money. Right, but at the time we did everything. And I want you to go, everybody out there, and look up Wallaby Beat. Now, these are articles on Australian artists that release singles, and they talk about us. They give us 3 pages. One's on the first single, At Home, and they said the Plastic EP and the records have this attitude of let's just go for it. And they said, we're like, how can I say, a deranged sound that's like short of a 6-pack. They do this fantastic description of us, which is what we were. We just came out and said to the world, this is us, you like it or you don't, stick it. And that's our attitude. I remember one of the reasons why I got that sound is I had a car and I was driving it to the studio and we stopped for hamburgers and someone smashed into my brand new car. So you can tell that I was upset. And that night I did the song and he comes through on the vocals. That's punk. That's rock and roll. That's like, the real deal. And that's a story that we never forget. I was upset the car got smashed and I put it out on my vocals when I recorded this song.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
And I saw that Wallaby Beat art, the at least I looked at the one for At Home, and you put all kinds of comments on it. So it's like, if you dig into the comments, you had some really interesting comments about your own music. So that was really cool.
I'll just say, go to the other 2 pages. There's 3 pages there. So they got an article on, well, you want to make a record, I'm not coming back, that single that wasn't released. And then it goes into Forget All I Said and 3 special words when it was the EPs. I want everyone in the world to go and read that because it's so way out, the way they wrote it, they tell the truth. You got to understand, I'm a young man driving around the band members, practicing every single day. It's like, you can't invent this stuff. It's like you had to live it. I lived it. And it's there forever on record. It's like this video. You do it now, they're going to see this forever. We'll all be gone and they'll see this.
When you wanna make a record and you wish you could, you wanna make it sound better, like you wish you could. Well, add a little guitar and make it cry. Cry, 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 cry. Make that rhythm fly, guitar. When you wanna make a record, let it play rock and roll. You wanna make it sound better, like you wish you could. Well, add a bit of bass, not so much now. Make it sound in its place. Try, 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 try. Well, that'll get by bass. Now you wanna get a beat, so add the drums. Not too loud now, as much as it's allowed now. want you to try, try, try. Try, try, try. Good, that'll get by. Drums. When you wanna make a record, when you wanna make a record, when you wanna make a record.
Oh, just fill you in on a couple of things with Australia regarding the music scene and our sensibilities. I always say there is not an Australia, there's Australian states, and certainly you can feel it between the sensitivity of what people listen to in Sydney and in Melbourne. For example, the most popular broadcasters in Australia at the moment are Sydneyites, and there's now placards everywhere around Melbourne saying, please listen to us again, we promise we'll behave. So you can get away with a lot more in Sydney than you can in Melbourne. For me, growing up in the 70s, I'm a 70s kid, you would see punks and goths. You'd see people with the jackets with Sex Pistols on and things like that. But it'd be very, very hard to hear it actually in the radio. Rock and roll, Lisa, I did want to ask you, with the split of the show, music pre-1983 and after, is that sort of the where punk met new romantic music?
No, it's just more like basically he stops at 1982, but there was still good music after that. His whole thing is his radio show in college ended in 1982. So I just moved forward with it's not new romantic, but it's this just like really good music still that came out after. And still today, there's stuff that you can find, especially from Australia. There's some great punk music right now. And, this splatterings of stuff from every year. But I'd say like 83 through like 86, there's still great stuff, but he won't play it because.
Well, it's not that. She actually is more knowledgeable than I am
on newer
on
things.
1983 forward, and
Yeah.
I'm very, very knowledgeable on 82 back.
Yeah.
So that's the way it's more that than any other reason. But good question.
Yeah.
So Plastic EP, I've read that you're like a 60s fanatical knowledge, and you were mentioning before the show some of the groups you've interviewed and whatnot. So I'm like a huge Masters Apprentices fan. I like, a lot of stuff from Australia from the 60s. Like I could just name all kinds of things. But what are some of your favorites? I'm just curious because maybe you know some things that I never even heard of.
Well, I've got to tell you something. You can't do 1,200 interviews unless you know nothing. Now, the thing is, a lot of people don't understand I lived it, right? I was born in 1958. I'll tell you this story. I don't even like talking about my age, right? But when I went to school, in elementary school, we call it state school, Auburn South State School. I went to in Taronga Road. I'll give them a plug. And then I went to Campbell High School, right? Now I was going to school. But my mind was on the music in America and England every single day. And every time the newspaper came on and there was a video clip, it was in my mind. I remember things that people don't remember. That's my expertise. That's why I know. I don't have to go to books to look because I lived it. I know things that people have forgotten that were just common back then, even with the monkeys. This is why just type in the name Plastic EP now and I'm worldwide. And you can't do 1,200 interviews, right, if you don't know what you're talking about. That's the first thing. The second thing is I'm trying to make the world happy, which I did during COVID. I appeared in COVID, and while people were doom and gloom and everything, I was saying, hey, come on, just keep living, keep going. It's about the music. It's about the love of the world. Let's just keep going. And it was because of that. It had nothing to do with money or monetary. I made nothing. I wasn't interested. I was just interested in bringing sunshine and joy to the world during doom and gloom. And that's why when there's doom and gloom, turn off the TV, listen to music, watch your movies, do whatever you want and just make yourself happy. That's simple as that. Okay, I'm going to show you something that no one knows, no one's seen it because it's pride and place in my house. Like my original Monkeys poster that's been signed by the 4 monkeys made out to me, Daniel. Each monkey wrote the word Daniel. I don't know of any fan poster from 1967. That's when I bought it. As I said, I was in elementary school. You call it that. We call it state school at Auburn South. And I had 2 posters. I bought them from Campbell Junction. They were like Hollywood personality posters. One I took to school and I cut it out, the silhouette, and that got destroyed. Then I only had 1 left. And then 52 years of waiting, each monkey signed it. This is something that was given to me by the people that they reissued at home, the EP, and they reissued when you want to make a record. That's out there on the net. All you have to do is look it up, and you can still get that as a digital download. And if they still got copies of those reissues, you can do that. This was given to me. That's me, Plastic EP. That's the label that I drew, right? There's the song at home, right? You can read the bottom down there, Out for Me, Andrew.
The special edition gold-plated record is in recognition of outstanding artistic achievement.
What I'm saying is, we did it ourselves. I'm proud of what I've achieved. Every day, people are discovering Plastic EP in the records, the music of the EPs. And the great thing is, someone told me we go to YouTube and you can go there, right? Just Plastic EP. It's got every single video clip I've ever made since back then. When you see me in the gold suit and the black skivvy and these glasses that have been on my musical journey that I wear every single time I'm on the net and I do interviews, that's me. The thing is with Plastic EP, he's unique. There's no one like me, and there never ever will be because it's just me. It's the same as my sound. It's me. It's so unique. I know a songwriter in the UK. He's written so many great hits. I played him some of my songs, and he always said, I don't know somebody that can write unique songs because I put my wife in the band, the EPs, and she was drumming and she sings and she's on most of the recordings. And that's what my songs are. They're tailor-made just for me and just for Vicky and just it was the rest of the band. Unbelievable. But my true story has come out and that's what it's all about.
You know, there's so many groups that are just lost from all different eras, and you can't even reach out. At least you're still active and you can reach out to you. There's so many of these groups that have fantastic stuff and they're just lost in time. Right. So what's your craziest story from that period?
Well, I'll tell you what, I remember with Wally, because he wrote most of the songs with me, right? And he was the greatest musician out there. He played bass and we used to write songs. Got to understand, my wife comes into the picture of the EPs because I needed a drummer. Right? I needed a drummer. And we tried other people and whatever. And then I said, listen, you got to go for a few drum lessons. It's okay. You look good. You sing great. You'll be singing on the songs. And let's just do it. Anyway, my wife would be doing housework. And I'd say, can you stop doing housework? And she'd go, why? I say, why? Because I need you to sing on a song. And this wasn't just like, this is constant. Right, so my wife would go and do the dishes and I'd call out Vicky and she'd go, not again. I go, yeah, come and sing on the song. And she'd never get to hear the song. She goes, what do you want? I just want you to sing this, like a producer. And she'd nail it and she'd go back to her job. And this went for years and years and years. And the joke was that when it was the EPs and we put out video clips, a lot of people were asking, how come there's this like, there seems to be this close relationship with Plastic EP and Vicky? Because I kept the secret for over 25 years that we're married. No one knew in the band that we're married outside in the world. And the joke was Wally and I'd be upstairs writing the songs. And every time we wanted a cup of tea, we'd say, Mrs. Plastic EP, can you bring a cup of tea? Because no one knew I was married to her. And I can't keep a secret. And I realised why I kept the secret for over 25 years. Because John Lennon didn't want to tell anybody about his wife. So I had the John Lennon syndrome. I'm not telling anybody we're married. Do you get it?
That's great.
So I'll tell you a silly story with us. So we're almost 30, in a few weeks, we're 39 years married. But Anyway, we're doing our first radio show.
Yeah.
I didn't tell her what her name was going to be.
Well,
I introduced her. Here's Rock and Roll Lisa on the air. It was the first time she heard the name.
Yep.
That's classy. Now, just going to say one more story because it's very important and it's very short. We were playing at the Corner Hotel in Richmond. You know it, Andrew, okay? And what happens is because it's got the name The Corner, Wally and I walked out after we did the set and I said, do you know something, Wally? This week we're playing at the Corner. Next week we're going to play the Gutter and then we're going to move up in the world and play the Footpath. That was a joke between us that I said when we walked outside the Corner Hotel in Richmond. Is that not a great gag?
That's great.
I wish we had known about you. We were in Australia in 2019.
In Melbourne.
Yeah, we were in Melbourne, and which we had known about.
You like your chicken parm, your coffee
Oh my
shop?
God, I want to go back just for the Parma.
She's my kind of girl. She's my kind of girl. Soon you'll be close to me, 'cause you mean the most to me. You're my kind of girl. Yes, you're my kind of girl. I know I'll miss you and I wanna kiss you, 'cause you're my kind of girl. I said you're my kind of girl. Let's go. My kind of girl. My kind of girl. I'm your kind of boy. I'm your kind of boy. Like a brand new toy. I'm your kind of boy. My kind of girl. You're my kind of girl. Yes, you're my kind of girl.
Yeah.
So what do you got to show us, Blast?
Okay. I'm going to show you stuff that I've never shown in my life. Okay. The original single that came out in 1981. There
Wow.
it is. Now, wait.
The $500.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's it say? Read it out, Andrew.
New Wave Plastic EP and the records at home. And there's a credit to D. Samagas.
Samagas. That's me. That one, the second side, the B side.
3 special words.
Yep.
That's a killer song. I love his 3 special words.
No other girl means more to me. Na 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 na. And no other words mean more to me than these special words. Than these special words of I'll love you. Of I'll love you. I will. I will. You know, no other boy means more to you. And no other words are important to you. These words are made for me and you. 3 special
when the records were made, I went and had a stamp made. I had a stamp made of the band, right? Like a picture. Now, this is the only one that's left. There's only one copy in the world like this. I stamped it at the time in 4 corners. You see those 4 little guys? What's it say?
Well, it's almost Motown to me. Are you sure this is punkish?
What's it say there?
I can't read it.
It says play me. I think it says play me, right? You put me on the spot. 1 minute. Hang on, I've got a magnifying glass, so you'll have to bear with me.
That was his phase where he went Motown, I think.
Hang on, you know what it says? It says, please play me. It's got the logo of Plastic EP and the records on the back, and it says, at home in 3 special words. All right, so now I'm going to go through these. I might leave that in with my glasses off, but I don't do that.
The original copies had these stamps all over them. Then.
All right, this is what it says. It says, "Please play me in the left-hand side." Underneath it says, "At home in 3 special words," and behind it, it's got that famous photo of the logo from the album, like the single. If you see it at the back there, it's got the hand-drawn Plastic EP. There you go. It's on 4 corners of the record. There's only one copy in the world, and that one's mine. And that was made at the time that it was done. Then I want to tell you, as I said, when you want to make a record, wasn't released as a single. That was going to be the second one. Now, the second single, as soon as we became the EPs, this is the one here, right? That song I sang you, Forget All I Said. There's the original one. I thought you were meant for me. My eyes were misled. Go and watch it on YouTube. Second side is called Secret Love. Right, this is the original one from 1982. Never been played. And here you are. Here's the factory box from EMI, right, of that single. Coming out of the factory box right now. They're the last remaining records. From 1982, you can work out how many years that is. That's from the factory, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I thought you were meant for me. My eyes were misled. You had someone else I didn't know. Please forget all I said. Forget all I said with you. Forget all I said.
This is the original business card from 1982. We were giving these out. There's myself, there's Vicky playing drums, there's Wally, there's Vass, and there's Michael there on piano. Now, I just want to show you the reissued ones. You may still be able to get them. I doubt it, but go and look it up. Right, I want everyone to go to the net and look up Xerox Music. They were good enough to release these, and I'll tell you what they are.
That's the one I have. That's the one I have.
Right, this is the one that's the full record reissued. Yep. The A side, At Home and Three Special Words, is this original single, the A and the B side. Right, the second one there is Forget All I Said.
All I Said, followed by Secret Love.
Now that's the second single that was really the third single that wasn't released. And this is the second single that wasn't released. This is the one that was meant to come straight after At Home, right? You see it.
Yeah.
When you want to make a record, I'm Not Coming Back. So that's the missing, that was number 2 that never happened. And go to Xerox Record and see if you can get a copy of that. And I'd be, ask them to reprint them or whatever. So basically, the story of the EPs is this, that never happened. First original record, 1981. Second original record that was going to be released in 1981, as I said, didn't happen. The master tape got stolen or got missing, whatever happened. That was meant to be number 2. So you can see that's a run-on with a punk sound from the first one. And then we went pop in 1982 with that. Is that not, I'll just tell you, can I do it any better than that for you today?
No, it's like
Excellent.
it's like a history presentation that is it's fantastic. We love it.
Yep.
And I'm happy to have the first of the reissues that you mentioned we have sitting in the house right here. Made it all the way to the US.
Yep.
I just want to say, the louder you play it, the better it is. Do you agree?
That's always the case. Turn it to 11. Thank you very much for having us on. Your show's great. We love your music, Plastic EP. Can't wait to play more songs. We're Punks in the Garage, Rock and Roll Lisa, Rock and Roll Joel. We do pre-1982 punk, 60s garage and freak beat, a little bit of surf, a little bit of proto-punk, a little bit of 50s, and then Lisa does a block in every one of our hour shows of post-1982 music that's rocking.
All the way through
to today.
2025.
And we're an hour radio show. You can get us on Mixcloud. There's a full free archive of every show we've done, Punks in the Garage. We have a Facebook and Instagram pages, Punks in the Garage. If you want to write us, it's punksininthegarage@gmail.com. And thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Great stories.
Yeah, and I love looking back at some of the other interviews you've done. So I enjoy doing this.
I just want to say, I interviewed Artie Cornfield, the godfather of Woodstock. I mean, doesn't get much bigger than that.
Thanks for sharing a great story regarding what you're doing there, Rock and Roll Joel and Rock and Roll Lisa. Fantastic to hear about your community and a new show, and sharing the word about punk, which is really true music with simple beat and clear message. We love that on our show.
And I just want to say, from the bottom of our heart, we love you guys.
Well, thank you.
Well, we love you too.
And we look forward to playing more of your music.
Yes.